Hello guys, welcome back to our anime moment. Guys, please like the video and subscribe to my channel. Today is explanation of Renegade Immortal episode number 641 based on novel. So let's start. Inside the deserted mountain that had turned into a ruin, a huge formation was revealed as the fog dissipated. A figure was sitting at the center of the 10-colored formation, and Wang Lin could now see the appearance of the figure. It was an old man, and he looked very similar to the All-Seer. However, when Wang Lin took a closer look, not only was this person similar to All-Seer but was also similar to another person. "Wang Lin, we meet again." The old man smiled as if he was very calm as he looked at Wang Lin. His smile was elusive. It seemed to contain greed and some reminiscence, but in the depths of his eyes, there was a hidden trace of fear. Wang Lin's body was 7,000 to 8,000 feet tall. Staring at the old man, he said, "Should I call you All-Seer or Seven-Colored Celestial Sovereign?" This person's appearance was like an overlap of the All-Seer and the Seven-Colored Celestial Sovereign. "I have a lot of names, but even now, I like to be called All-Seer." The old man smiled and he pressed his right hand down on the formation. The giant formation activated once more, emitting a strange light. This light shrouded the world and attracted the power of the world. It created a shockwave, and even Wang Lin's body was forced back several steps. Transfer. Wang Lin's eyes lit up. With his understanding of restrictions, he could instantly tell that the formation below the All-Seer was a transfer array. "Unfortunately, you haven't killed enough," the old man let out a sigh. Wang Lin didn't make any sound. He had many doubts, but he didn't say anything. He raised his right hand and smashed down on the formation. Wang Lin's powerful body and strong fist smashed into the formation, but he immediately felt a powerful rebound force. Popping sounds came from his body and his right hand was knocked back. He looked over to find that the formation wasn't damaged at all. "You can't break this formation. You can't stop this old man's plan. I had waited for too long for this day." The old man shook his head and looked at Wang Lin. His eyes revealed a strange gaze. It contained a complicated emotion, greed, and fear. Wang Lin had seen this kind of gaze on the All-Seer before, but it had never been so clear before. This was related to the fact that his cultivation had reached Grand Empyrean level. The All-Seer is already dead and the Seven-Colored Celestial Sovereign is gone. "Who are you?" Wang Lin roared, and his body expanded once more. He was now a giant over 10,000 feet tall. His roar was like a gust of wind, and his right foot smashed down on the formation below. Thunderous rumbles echoed, but when Wang Lin's right foot touched the formation, his foot trembled and the powerful rebound force knocked him back again. "Who am I?" The old man silently pondered for a moment and laughed. "Who am I? Aside from myself, there is only one other person that knows. And you will know soon enough." The formation around the old man shined brightly and began to buzz. As the formation activated, the earth began to shake as well. What kind of transfer array is this that can shake the earth? There was a flash of coldness in Wang Lin's eyes. It didn't matter if this person was the All-Seer or the Seven-Colored Celestial Sovereign, he was the ancient Tao Imperial teacher that was responsible for taking Wan as soul fragment. He was someone Wang Lin was going to kill. Seeing the formation become even more intense, Wang Lin took a deep breath and rumbles came from his body. The blue blood vessels on his body and face swelled, making him look extremely fierce. He let out a roar and his body expanded once more. He became tens of thousands of feet tall and reached almost 100,000 feet. Such a large body caused the world to change colors. The formation below was like an ant to him. Wang Lin's eyes revealed endless silver light as he threw another punch at the formation. As this punch fell, the power of the world within 5 kilometers, 50 kilometers, 500 kilometers, 50,000 kilometers, even over hundreds of thousands of kilometers was all pulled in. It was as if Wang Lin's punch had turned into a black hole that devoured all the power and smashed down on the world. The old man inside the formation looked up at this with a strange expression and didn't panic at all. When the punch landed, the light from the formation flashed violently and suddenly shattered, then the punch closed in on the old man. In the blink of an eye, the punch touched the old man's body, but it penetrated his body, penetrated the formation, and landed on the ground. The earth trembled violently and waves spread out in all directions. The mountain burst open and a giant hole appeared. However, Wang Lin's expression became gloomy because the old man and the formation were still there without any damage. It was as if this old man and the formation didn't exist and everything was just an illusion. The old man and the formation seemed to exist in a completely different space from Wang Lin. "Why waste your energy?" the old man smiled as he shook his head and sighed. Wang Lin silently pondered for a moment and said, "After this long, you still haven't transferred away. This not just a transfer array." When his words entered the old man's ears, the old man's eyes lit up. Wang Lin closed his eyes and his body shrank and the giant figure disappeared in the blink of an eye. Instead, a normal-sized white-robed Wang Lin appeared. Because he had shrunk too fast, the giant figure seemed to dissipate like an illusion. After returning to his normal size, he stepped forward and arrived before the formation. He looked at the old man that looked like both the All-Seer and the seven-colored celestial sovereign. He waved his right hand and the five-element true body and the slaughter thunder essence true body returned to his body. The old man slowly said, "This formation is indeed not just a transfer array. Its real effect is to open an ancient gate. Unfortunately, your slaughter is not powerful enough. You can't break this formation and can't stop the activation of this formation. It's better to sit down and talk for a short period of time. This old man can perhaps solve some of your doubts for you." The old man smiled as he looked at Wang Lin. Wang Lin silently pondered and shook his head after a moment. He stepped forward and a giant sun appeared behind him. This sun was black and white and emitted black and white light. It looked very strange in this world. "I'm not used to talking to someone through a formation," Wang Lin calmly said, then he walked toward the edge of the formation. Ripples echoed as Wang Lin walked inside. Although he had walked through the formation, it was as if he was standing in a different space from the formation. The old man looked at Wang Lin, who was only a few hundred feet away, and revealed a pitiful look. However, in the next breath, the old man's pupils violently shrank. As Wang Lin stood there, his cultivation level continued to rise. The Grand Empyrean sun behind him shined brightly and expanded to more than 10 times the previous size in the blink of an eye. The giant Grand Empyrean sun gave off even more light, but it didn't stop expanding. From a distance, it was like a ball being blown larger and larger. "What are you going to do?" The old man's expression became gloomy as he stared at the Grand Empyrean sun. Without hesitation, he raised his right hand. The giant fly circling him started buzzing loudly. It revealed a ferocious gaze and charged at Wang Lin. But when the fly came within a few dozen feet of Wang Lin, it could not get any closer. It was as if there was an invisible barrier stopping it from getting closer. Thunderous rumbles echoed. This sound came from the fly smashing into the invisible barrier due to anger. Wang Lin's right hand reached into the void before him and a soul appeared. It was the soul of the Celestial Emperor. Holding this soul, Wang Lin closed his eyes and his cultivation level continued to rise. When his cultivation raised to speak void turbulent, it continued to increase. He poured all his power into the soul, causing the Celestial Emperor's soul's eyes to open and release dazzling, golden light. However, these eyes contained no consciousness and were filled with confusion. Wang Lin waved his right hand and threw the soul into the Grand Empyrean sun behind him. There was a blurry head hidden inside the giant Grand Empyrean sun. This was the celestial ancestor's head that Wang Lin had taken out back at the ancient Tao Palace and then put back into the Grand Empyrean sun. The moment the Celestial Emperor's soul entered the Grand Empyrean sun and the celestial ancestor's head, the Grand Empyrean sun expanded once more to 100 times its original size. Wang Lin's body trembled and he let out a roar. The Grand Empyrean sun expanded several more folds before his eyes suddenly opened. Ignite, Grand Empyrean sun! The Grand Empyrean sun began to burn. From a distance, it looked like a giant black and white fireball, and a sea of fire surged through the sky. The old man's expression changed, then he suddenly stood up and roared, "Don't you want to truly resurrect Li Muwen?" Wang Lin's eyes lit up, but he didn't speak or stop his crazed actions. He had made the Celestial Emperor's soul fuse with the Celestial Ancestor's head to make it melt a bit faster. He had fused them with his Grand Empyrean Sun to borrow a powerful force. At this moment, as the Grand Empyrean Sun burned, the giant sun shrank rapidly. In the blink of an eye, it shrank from its vast size until it disappeared. At the same time, the powerful force entered Wang Lin's body in a strange way, then his right foot stomped down. When he stomped down, Wang Lin let out a roar and a thunderous boom echoed around him. If this formation was located in a space different from that of the immortal astral continent, all of Wang Lin's previous attacks had been useless. It was as if the formation was intangible, he could see it but not touch it. The formation was here so it could absorb the death aura from the palace. This meant that even though it was in a different space, the spaces overlapped here. Wang Lin had seen his kind of spell before. Back in the Celestial Palace, he had encountered something similar. At this moment, he was burning his Grand Empyrean Sun in exchange for the power to break open the void. He was going to use his powerful body and cultivation to break open the barrier to enter that space. This spell was similar to stepping out of the cave world and directly entering the immortal astral continent. This spell would be like crossing the boundary between worlds, which would even be difficult for Grand Empyreans unless it was like the Celestial Palace where an entrance had been created. However, Wang Lin was trying to force his way in now, and it was extremely difficult. The ancient Tao Imperial teacher's expression had changed because of Wang Lin's crazed actions. Wang Lin's right foot rose, and when it landed, thunderous rumbles echoed. The formation flashed violently and a large, invisible net seemed to appear. The net bent, and if Wang Lin could break it, he could cross the boundary. The flickering net could only vaguely be seen by the eye. When Wang Lin's right foot landed on the net, it seemed to be reaching a limit. Wang Lin's body also trembled and sweat appeared on his forehead. Although he had obtained great strength, this was extremely difficult for him. All of this happened in an instant. The ancient Tao Imperial teacher stood up and his hands formed seals. 10 colored light shot toward the net under Wang Lin's foot. It made the net stronger and more resilient, and now the net seemed to contain an elastic force that was going to lift Wang Lin's feet. Before Wang Lin, the giant fly seemed to have gone crazy and continued to smash into the barrier. It wanted to tear open the barrier and charge at Wang Lin. After reinforcing the net, the ancient Tao Imperial teacher bit the tip of his tongue and coughed out a mouthful of blood. However, the blood didn't fall on the net, but went through the formation, into the unknown. But at this moment, the activation of the formation increased several folds. The sound of murmuring seemed to increase, as if countless people were speaking, but you couldn't hear anything clearly. With my blood to lead the soul of the heavens, activate. As the old man roared, countless souls appeared inside the formation. When Wang Lin saw these souls, his body trembled. These souls belonged to people who had died to Wang Lin in the cave world. These souls turned into black gas and charged out from the formation. They flew into the sky and formed a giant vortex, then an illusion appeared inside the vortex. The illusion was like an image, and it reflected the Celestial Clan. On the immortal astral continent, at the mountain sea continent, a few scattered cultivators stared at the sea dumbfoundedly. The sea level seemed to drop, then a large, black pillar suddenly rose from the bottom of the sea. It flew into the sky and disappeared. Wang Lin saw the scene inside the vortex. He didn't know what it meant, but he felt his hair stand up, as if something that would shock the entire immortal astral continent had appeared. He took a deep breath and, without hesitation, his right foot stomped down in an attempt to break the looming net and enter the space the formation was in. However, the net was reinforced and erupted with endless power, preventing Wang Lin from breaking it open. As a result, thunderous rumbles echoed when Wang Lin stomped at the net. The ancient Tao Imperial teacher coughed out 3 mouthfuls of blood and attracted even more death souls. These death souls were all people Wang Lin had killed. They revealed painful expressions as they let out roars and turned into black gas that flew into the sky. They turned into 3 giant vortexes that lined up with the other vortex. A different image appeared in each vortex. Cloud Wave Continent. There was a giant ocean on this continent, and normally there weren't many waves. There were many small islands on this ocean, and there were many cultivators on them. The calm sea suddenly rumbled and countless islands were flooded. Large amounts of cultivators flew out and were shocked by this. The ocean's level seemed to drop and then a giant pillar flew into the sky and disappeared. The other two places were oceans in the celestial clan, and huge pillars flew out of them and into the sky. The last place could not even be called an ocean. It was the frozen land where Grand Empyrean Wu Feng was. The ice suddenly burst open, revealing the frozen ocean below, and a huge pillar pierced through the ice and flew into the sky. Wu Feng stood in the distance and looked at this. This pillar gave off an ancient aura, as if it had existed for countless years. A large amount of pressure also spread out, shaking the world. It's ahead of time. Wu Feng muttered, but soon his eyes shined brightly. Wang Lin clearly saw all of this in the vortex in the sky. Seeing that the ancient Tao imperial teacher was about to cough out the fifth mouthful of blood, Wang Lin didn't hesitate to summon his strongest avatar in the void. A hazy fog appeared around him and his power suddenly erupted. His right foot contained his full power as he stomped down on the net. When he stomped down, an overlapping shadow appeared over his original body as if there was another body there. This was his avatar in the void. With one stomp, a part of the net collapsed, creating a hole. When Wang Lin's foot landed, he stepped inside the space the formation was in. His body was still here, but his right foot had landed in that space. This was his limit. He could not make his entire body enter that space, but just his right foot could achieve his goal. There was a flash of black light on his foot and then he withdrew it. Then a large amount of black gas drilled into the hole as the net recovered. In the space where the formation was, the black gas gathered at the edge of the formation to form a black-haired Wang Lin. His eyes were cold and indifferent, devoid of all emotion. This was Wang Lin's Slaughter Thunder Essence true body. Its name: Slaughter. The person who said the name of this true body was the ancient Tao imperial teacher. As the old man stared at the black-haired true body, there was a flash of fear in his eyes. I'm not used to talking to someone across space. I like talking to people face to face like this, the black-haired Slaughter Thunder Essence true body said as he looked around. This was a very strange space. It seemed infinite in size but also seemed like it was only so large. It gave people a strange illusion. There were also murmurs constantly echoing, as if there were countless people talking, but you couldn't clearly hear a single sentence. Slaughter withdrew his gaze and walked toward the ancient Tao imperial teacher. Outside the formation, Wang Lin's original body sat down with his eyes closed. His full focus was on the Slaughter true body in the other space. You seem to be very afraid of me, and you know the name of this true body of mine. The black-haired Slaughter looked at the old man and the formation coldly. He waved his hand and countless strands of black gas appeared to destroy this formation. If you destroy this formation, there is no chance for Li Muwen to awaken. That soul fragment is only a soul fragment. Even if you put it into the heaven-avoiding coffin, it can't awaken her. The only way to resurrect the dead is to rely on this formation. Even if you rely on the power of the ancient ancestor's soul blood to temporarily awaken her, she can't escape reincarnation. A few years later, she would turn back into a corpse. If you want her to escape reincarnation, you have to rely on this formation, the ancient Tao imperial teacher suddenly said. Slaughter's right hand paused for a moment. Outside the formation, Wang Lin opened his eyes. What place is this formation opening? The ancient Tao imperial teacher, who looked like the All-Seer and the seven-colored celestial sovereign, pondered a bit and said, the immemorial God realm. If you want to allow Li Muwen to break out from reincarnation and not suffer the pain of reincarnation, you must go the immemorial God realm. There, you are sheltered from reincarnation, and you can use your reincarnation Tao to break Li Muwen's dream barrier, find her true self, and surpass reincarnation. The immemorial God realm has only been partially opened in the past, but with my method, I can open it completely. However, there was a flash of killing intent in Slaughter's eyes. After his right hand paused, it moved once more as if he was going to destroy the formation. The ancient Tao imperial teacher's voice was fierce as he roared, if this formation is destroyed, you will never know the truth about the cave world and the immortal astral continent. You will still have to watch Li Muwen's soul die and return to the reincarnation cycle. You still won't allow her to accompany you forever. The eyes of the black-haired slaughter avatar lit up and his right hand stopped. The black gas still moved along his hand, and it was a shocking sight. You have the celestial ancestor's soul blood, and it has the power of creation, but even if you integrate the entire drop into Li Muwen's body, it won't allow her to safely enter the immemorial God realm. The immemorial God realm is the supreme holy land of the immortal astral continent. Ordinary cultivators can't enter it, they either need powerful cultivation or a powerful body. This time, the immemorial God realm will open completely. This will be completely different from the times it has opened before. If you want to enter with Li Muwen, you need to make her body indestructible so that it can be taken there. Then use the power of reincarnation to find her true self and separate her from reincarnation into an immortal existence, the All-Seer said rapidly before coughing out another 2 mouthfuls of blood. His blood was like mist and penetrated the formation. 2 more masses of death souls of people Wang Lin had killed formed 2 balls of black gas and flew into the sky. In the sky, they lined up with the previous 4 vortexes. They seemed like they were going to form a circle. Those 2 masses of black gas revealed different images. It wasn't the celestial clan, but the ancient clan this time. One showed the ancient G area, where there was a vast sea. The sea was dark and gave off a smell of decay. This was the famous Death Sea of the ancient G. Normally, this was a good place for the people of the ancient G to cultivate. The pressure from the sea would mold a person, and if they could persist, it would help you stimulate their full potential. However, a huge wave appeared in his Death Sea now. This wave spread in all directions and a howl echoed. The sea depressed and a huge pillar flew into the sky and disappeared. The Death Sea's level lowered and now half of the water was missing. As this pillar flew into the sky, a huge pillar also flew out from the sea at the border of the ancient Tao and ancient Sha. Large amounts of ripples spread in all directions and attracted the attention of everyone who saw it. However, aside from a few people, no one else knew what was happening. All the answers you want are inside the immemorial God realm. Once you go there, you will know the answer. Inside the formation, the ancient Tao Imperial teacher wiped the blood from the corner of his mouth. The black-haired slaughter avatar's gaze fell on the ancient Tao Imperial teacher. The space you exist in is still different from the space the formation is in. As he spoke, he pointed at the ancient Tao Imperial teacher. A large amount of black gas came out of the tip of his finger and flew at the ancient Tao Imperial teacher. The old man didn't dodge at all and allowed the black gas to pass through his body. However, his body seemed intangible and didn't take any damage. It was as if he was only a reflection and didn't exist here. The ancient Tao Imperial teacher's pupils shrank as he looked at the slaughter avatar, and dread appeared in his eyes. I still don't believe your words. Wang Lin, who was sitting outside the formation, was watching everything inside the formation. His slaughter avatar had spoken, and he didn't seem to be shocked by the ancient Tao Imperial teacher's words. The ancient Tao Imperial teacher clenched his teeth and suddenly said, "Do you possess a strand of white hair and a fist-sized skull?" When the slaughter avatar heard this, his eyes revealed coldness. Outside the formation, Wang Lin's original body looked up. You have indeed obtained them. When the ancient Tao Imperial teacher saw this, he became spirited. Seeing the slaughter avatar move, the ancient Tao Imperial teacher quickly said, after entering the immemorial God realm, with the hair as the guide and the skull to light your way, you will find the truth. If you destroy this formation, this old man's plan will fail, but you will also never know the truth. One day, you will even come to regret it. Today's matter was beyond his expectations. He had thought that Wang Lin could not enter this space. He had never expected Wang Lin to have the power to break through the boundaries. Facing the slaughter essence true body, the old man felt an indescribable sense of fear from the bottom of his heart and soul. It shouldn't be like this. Could something have gone wrong? The ancient Tao Imperial teacher howled in his heart, but he revealed nothing on his face. However, Wang Lin could destroy the formation at any moment and destroy his year's preparation, so he had been forced to reveal a lot more secrets. The black-haired slaughter slowly said, "Interesting. I can spare this formation, but you have to tell me why this formation requires the souls of those my original body killed to activate." The ancient Tao Imperial teacher's expression changed and he seemed to hesitate, but he immediately saw Wang Lin raise his hand to destroy the formation. Because the immemorial God realm has, the old man clenched his teeth, and just as he was about to say those words, his body trembled. He let out a miserable scream and his body showed signs of dissipating. This is the law of the realm. I can't say it. If this old man were to say this, I would die. The ancient Tao Imperial teacher's face instantly turned pale. Slaughter walked forward and coldly said, "Oh, you don't have to tell me that, but you have to tell me who you are. Seven-colored is this old man, All-Seer is this old man, and the ancient Tao Imperial teacher is also this old man." Even this, as the old man spoke, his body trembled once more and he let out a painful howl. The ancient Tao Imperial teacher suddenly became fierce and said, "I can't say it. Wang Lin, this formation is important to this old man, but it is also important to you. If you insist on destroying the formation, this old man won't stop you anymore." Everything had gone wrong today because he had never expected Wang Lin to break the boundary and send his slaughter avatar in. Otherwise, he would have still been holding the initiative, unlike now, where he was completely passive. Slaughter silently pondered. Outside the formation, Wang Lin's eyes revealed a complicated expression. After a long time, he let out a sigh. After seeing the ancient Tao Imperial teacher's reaction, he had a strange guess in his heart. However, this guess was so bizarre, he didn't dare believe it. However, this matter involved Li Muwen. In regards to the matter about Li Muwen, Wang Lin knew the ancient Tao Imperial teacher wasn't wrong. The soul blood could awaken her temporarily, but she wouldn't be able to break out from reincarnation and would still die one day. If he wanted to surpass reincarnation, perhaps he would really have to head to the immemorial God realm. Staring at the old man, Wang Lin closed his eyes. At that moment, Slaughter withdrew his right hand. The black gas around him condensed and no longer spread out. Slaughter coldly said, "Continue the formation." The ancient Tao Imperial teacher was not surprised. He looked meaningfully at Wang Lin's original body outside the formation before coughing out 2 more mouthfuls of blood. The 2 mouthfuls of blood turned into 2 masses of black gas filled with death souls. They rushed into the sky and combined with the 6 previous vortexes to form a perfect circle. At the same time, at 2 other places in the ancient clan, 2 large pillars flew into the air. The earth trembled as they disappeared into the sky. In the sky, the 8 black vortexes rotated rapidly until one of them erupted with black light. The black light was like ink and spread in all directions. In the blink of an eye, the entire sky turned black. Not only the sky here, but the entire sky of the ancient can turn black. Even the skies of the vast seas and the 72 continents of the celestial clan turned into night. The entire immortal astral continent was shrouded in night. After 9 breaths, the darkness that shrouded the entire immortal astral continent disappeared. Wang Lin looked up at the sky to find that one of the 8 vortexes had disappeared. At the same time, he felt something strange in his heart. He faintly saw that a huge pillar had appeared in the vast sea between the ancient clan and the celestial clan. Just at this moment, one of the 7 remaining vortexes in the sky erupted with the same black light. The sky turned black and, 9 breaths later, the darkness disappeared. Only 6 vortexes remained, but a second pillar appeared in the vast sea. As the world alternated between black and white, the entire immortal astral continent began to tremble. Huge waves were set off in the vast sea, creating heaven-shattering rumbles. Wang Lin could vaguely feel everything happening across the vast sea. Something that could affect the entire immortal astral continent could only be caused by the legendary immemorial God realm that could make someone a Grand Empyrean. Immemorial God realm, Wang Lin muttered. He had heard about this place a long time ago, but this was the first time he would witness it opening. This was the 5th time the sky had turned black, and after 9 breaths, it returned today again. Wang Lin looked up and saw that only 3 vortexes remained. Inside the formation, the All-Seer looked excited. He seemed to have been waiting for this for a long time. He seemed to be able to see the changes on the vast sea, and his eyes were filled with desire and madness. This video will end here.